Good morning. It is Monday. Welcome back to a new studio vlog. The month of October is absolutely flying over. I don't know where it's gone. I don't feel like I have accomplished anything that I've set out to do. I don't know where the time is going. Does anybody else feel the same? Does anybody else feel like it's just whizzing by? I don't feel like I've accomplished anything in any aspects of my life. October and Halloween is Halloween tomorrow. They're one of my favourite times of year, and every year I'm like, yes, we're going to do this, we're going to do pumpkin carving, you know, watch the Halloween films, do all of the stuff. And we went pumpkin picking and we made a scarecrow for our village scarecrow festival, but I don't feel like I've done anything like memorable with my family. I want to make cookies, I want to make pumpkin pie, and the only thing that I feel like I've done is just made a real load of bread, because we make our own bread now. It's so much nicer. But yeah, and even work wise I'm just like, where is the time? It's been half term as well, so the previous week, last week, James was off of school, so we had a week inside. The weather's been absolutely terrible, so we couldn't get out and do very much, but it's been half term, so I've had a week off of work and I'll come back today, and it's the end of October and I'm like, what have I done? What have I accomplished? Not a lot. So today I am filming a tutorial. I had this idea a while ago of a nice pumpkin tutorial ready for Halloween, for those kind of autumn vibes. I filmed a mushroom tutorial, which was a really nice short one, which I used a scalpel for highlights. I made a couple videos out of that. But I knew I wanted to do this pumpkin one, and I've been wanting to do it for a while, and I should have thought it out and planned it better. I've got this really cute cooking pumpkin which I'm going to use. I might make something with it today now that I have finally photographed it, but I spent a while this morning. I say a while, I spent a little bit of time photographing it this morning. This is what I've come up with, if you can see vaguely. So I've got a nice little photo of a cute, very nice, aesthetically pleasing pumpkin. So I have photographed it, I've outlined it, I've got my outline ready to go. I need to cut some paper, so I'm going to be filming that today, so that I can hopefully, fingers crossed, I can get a majority of it drawn today, and then I can have it ready for posting tomorrow, so that it's up on like Halloween. One thing that I did want to do was kind of carve it with a face, so that it was kind of more Halloween vibes, but I just haven't got around to doing it. As I say, the time has just been like so I've just got the plain pumpkin, and I'm thinking it would be a really nice lesson in, I'm thinking of using a really limited palette. So maybe picking out some yellow and some red to try and create our own kind of orange. And the stalk on this one is brown tones, so just using some brown tones for that. Maybe using some contrasting or complementary colours for the shadows and all of that kind of thing. So I'm thinking it would be a really nice lesson in layering and blending with coloured pencils. What I also wanted to do was try and create a really interesting reel that I can post on TikTok, Instagram, and I've started uploading YouTube shorts as well, with various rehashed TikTok videos and that kind of thing. So I wanted to make a really nice video for those, so hopefully I can do that as well and get it up tomorrow. That was very, very loud, sorry. Whenever I hear people's emails come in on a Mac when I'm watching studio vlogs, I always think it's mine, so apologies. I do have 2 orders that need to go out today. So I've had, my Etsy shop has been very, very slow, and that's my fault because I haven't really been dedicating time to all of the stuff that Etsy wants you to do in order for you to get Etsy sales. But we've got a nuthatch which is sold, one of my favourites, and also the bee eaters. So the bee eaters don't get sold very often, so I'm going to just quickly package these two up, and then I'm going to get cracking on cutting the paper and everything for the pumpkin and picking some colours. I've got everything mapped out colour wise, so I decided to go for just some basic oranges, the addition of the blue for some shadows. I've added in the browns because I want to make sure I've got the right colours to do the top part, the little, I don't know what you call it, the top sprouty, the stalk, that's the word, the stalk. I've also picked out a couple of luminance pencils, which I don't usually do for tutorials. So I've picked out this one, which is a light flesh 10%, which is not focusing on it. This one is quite a nice colour. I've swatched it on the back. It's like this peachy kind of apricot tone, which is quite nice, which will be good for some of the highlights in the pumpkin and little bits on the stalk as well. And I've also picked out one of my favourite luminance pencils, which is the brown ochre 10%. The luminance range is absolutely fantastic at these kind of more neutral tones. The polychromos doesn't tend to have too many kind of those neutral, almost kind of pastel colours. It focuses a lot on like the generic brights, and there's quite a nice selection of browns, but the luminance has a really nice selection of neutrals. So this is another one which I was considering picking out, because it's like a beige tone which you can't find with the polychromos. So I'm going to keep this as like on the side as a backup in case I decide that this is useful. But I should be able to create the colours in the stalk with the Beaster and the luminance that I have picked out. I've also on here, because I've kind of swatched on the back, so I haven't continued with the colours, but I have also picked out an ivory, which I'm going to be using mainly for some blending. This is not focusing on this one at all, but you know what a polychromos pencil looks like. There we go. Just a generic ivory. Just want to put a nice little selection of colours. I was meant to film the whole picking process, but I forgot to turn my camera on, as usual. But here is the finished little swatch sheet, and of course the reference photo that I'm using I've taken myself. So I'm excited to get started. I've drawn it out. It's quite, I wouldn't say quite large, but it's a decent size. It's kind of like hand sized, which is nice. So it's not going to be too small, but it's not going to be massive that I'm not going to be able to complete it in a decent amount of time, because I'm hoping to get about at least an hour recorded today, and then tomorrow morning I'm hoping to get another hour or whatever I need to do to finish it off tomorrow. But it shouldn't be too much of a long kind of process tutorial. The largest kind of portion nowadays for me is editing, because I've got my second camera angle, and when it comes to editing I have to like match up the audio, and then just make sure that when I'm swapping to the second camera angle and back and forth, that it makes sense for the section that I'm working on. So I'm having to kind of review the footage a little bit more than what I would usually for a tutorial, which isn't the end of the world. It's probably better. With my recording for tutorials, I'm usually pretty good at, if there's like any sneezes or interruptions, I stop the recording and restart the recording, so that when I come to edit, I know that if I've got a section that it's stopped, I need to edit off the end or a couple of minutes or whatever on the end. So I'm pretty good at just making sure that I stop the recording, and then in the editing process it's easier to edit it out rather than having it as like one long kind of 4-hour stint and then having to sift through and remember kind of, oh yeah, I maybe coughed here, or you know, the doorbell rang or something happened. So yeah, that's all ready to go. It's really dark and I'm hoping that it doesn't start raining, because when it rains, because they've got a polycarbonate roof, it's really loud and I don't like to record when it's raining. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that it stays off for at least the next half an hour so I can kind of get the first layer and process down on this. But I need to put my pencils away. I've also got my Derwent electric eraser out because I'm thinking this might be really good to just use as an additional technique to take away some layers and some highlights or that kind of thing. So I may use this, but of course I have also over here, if it's in here, I've got my Holbein soft white. This, it's got hardly any words left on it, but this is my white pencil that I really like to use, and my little eraser for doing the outlines, and of course my drawing broom. So all of my things are ready to go. A very small pencil list, which is perfect, and I'm really hoping that I can get this done. So the next few clips will be you seeing me do some drawing. Just thought I'd show you my reference quickly as well. So it's a photo that I've taken, obviously just of my little pumpkin on my desk, but I've removed the background so that it's just the pumpkin, and obviously cut the frame down so that it's really nice and cropped. But I feel like this is probably going to be better so that you can actually just focus on the colours of the pumpkin. Sometimes when you have a background it can confuse your eye and you can't quite get the colours right, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, there's some cross fingers, that this will be helpful. But there's the reference photo. Good morning, let me move you over here. Oof. Good morning. You still need adjusting. It's now Monday. The week has flown away. Also, my hair is just it's a mess. I have finished my pumpkin. You would have seen me drawing a majority of it, or a little bit of it, not a majority. Oh god, the fan. So I finished my pumpkin. Here is the finished piece. I'm quite pleased with it. It's come out really quite nicely. I just need to put my hair up. Not very presentable, but at least my hair isn't flying across my face. Yeah, the pumpkin, it ended up being, was it let's have a look. Yeah, it ended up being, I just checked on Patreon, a 2-hour 48-minute tutorial, which isn't bad, considering its size and the fact that it is just a little old pumpkin. It's not anything huge. It's like the size of my palm, maybe a little bit bigger than my palm. You can see it's not like on a huge piece of paper, but it was a really nice lesson in blending with the coloured pencils and layering with coloured pencils, as well as using complementary colours for shadows and when building those kinds of tones. So I really do hope that my patrons have enjoyed it. I did enjoy drawing that one, and I managed to get it out and done in a very short time frame, which was also fantastic. So I've been working on that. I worked on that at the beginning of last week, because now it's the 6th of November. Yeah, that I got out for Halloween just in time. Made a couple of reels as well. I've been like on a whole video editing thing, and it's been really good and really fun. This week, because it's the start of the new month, for the last couple of months on Patreon I don't have any theme, and I don't have any kind of really clear idea of what I'm actually going to do, which doesn't sound fantastic, but I'm kind of in that mode where I just want to mood draw. So I'm just kind of going with the flow and seeing what takes my fancy rather than planning it out. Sometimes when I plan drawings and I plan out things, I end up not wanting to do it. There's been a couple of things that I've drawn this year that I just haven't finished because I'm just like, no, I'm not in the mood to draw this and I'm not feeling it. And I sometimes feel bad about that, especially when I'm trying to make something a tutorial, because then that means that I don't get a tutorial put out because I don't want to finish it. But I'm learning that as a creative, and to be kind to myself, that I need to do things like that and just not continue with something if I'm not feeling it. That's what's led to a lot of like my burnout period as well, just drawing things that I don't particularly want to draw and doing things as well that I don't particularly want to do. So I am mood drawing, and my friend went to the forest the other day and took a really great photo of a fly agaric mushroom. I know I've drawn mushrooms previously, and I have drawn that other little tiny mushroom from my allotment, but this is just so cute. I'm going to just show you. It's so cute. You can just see the tiny little mushrooms here. And I'm considering drawing that, and I also would really like to draw I'd also really like to draw a leaf. So I've been trying to collect some good leaves when I've been out and about, but none of them have been like, oh, I really want to draw that leaf. So I'm still on the lookout for a leaf, because again I feel like that would be a nice kind of gentle tutorial that's not too complicated with too many techniques. It's just making sure you're paying attention to your contrasts and your values and creating some kind of texture, but not like a whole mass of texture. I've also got some photos that I took from the zoo. I've got a meerkat which I'm really thinking about drawing as well, and I also have my jaguar that I need to draw as well. So I've got some things that I know that I need to do. There are some things that I'm like, oh, I really should do that, but as I said, I'm in that kind of mindset where I'm like, oh, I don't really want to. So today is all about editing some videos and getting some more content scheduled for YouTube so that I can keep on top of that. First of all though, let's do a couple Etsy orders that I have. So I've got a couple of orders, one for a bee card and one for a set of bird postcards. I think I mentioned that the Etsy orders aren't flowing as they once were. I've spoken to a couple of other small business owners and they've kind of said the same, that kind of peak order time for them, this is a nice B card, peak order time was lockdown period. Obviously because people couldn't get out into shops, so they were having to rely on shopping online, which is fantastic. That's when I saw the height of my sales, and that's when I was considering going and renting my own studio, because I was earning enough from Etsy alone to pay for the rent for the shop, and then everything else, or not shop but the studio, like the office space. Here are the bird postcards as well, set of 5 with envelopes. Yeah, I was earning enough from Etsy just itself monthly to warrant paying for a studio space. And I'm really glad that I didn't do it, because I would have been tied into like a contract period and stuff. Little sticker. Because the orders and the rate of orders has decreased significantly since we've come out of lockdown, which has now been a while. Everything's kind of been back to normal for quite a little time now, but it's just kind of been on the downturn ever since, and I probably get maybe 20 orders at the most on my Etsy shop in a month. It's not often that I get any orders anymore, which is one of the things, like, I'm kind of thinking about card lines, and I've got a bunch of drawings that I need to scan in that I could potentially turn into cards, but I'm thinking if I'm not getting that many orders, then what's the point of turning it into cards? And I did also think about printing on demand, but I can't mimic the quality of the cards that I get printed from my own printer. I don't want to sacrifice. I can get a similar kind of card stock, but it's not quite the same. I'm just not sure what to do with new designs, or whether to phase out older designs, or I don't know, because it's tough as a shop owner to know exactly what is going to really hit it off. For instance, my B cards, they do really well on Etsy. That is the most popular thing that I actually sell, is B card, and I do have another drawing of a bee that I could scan in and potentially create another B card. But I'm just unsure, and I don't want to obviously shell out a bunch of money to get some cards printed that ultimately aren't going to sell, because in my card racks over here, you can see they're completely full. I have a bunch of cards over there. Half of them don't really sell that often, but I've got like a big stock quantity of them. And then the cards that sell really well, obviously I've got a big stock quantity of those, but those turn around really quickly. So I'm not sure what to do with that aspect. Okay gang, I've half edited my Fuji tutorial. I've imported like all the footage and sorted it all out, and I just need to do the voiceover. The one thing I really hate is this tutorial is quite long, and I don't know how to edit it other than just like speeding it up, because a lot of the steps in the tutorial are kind of the same, and when it comes to YouTube I don't like to do too much in real time, because obviously I want to try and drive people to Patreon. So I've done it pretty much all kind of like time-lapsey, sped up, because a lot of the steps are the same and I can just explain the process whilst it's kind of going on. If there's any aspect that I want to slow down whilst I'm doing once I've done the voiceover, then I will do that afterwards. Generally my process for editing videos is edit the footage, then do the voiceover, and then if I need to edit the footage to match the voiceover, so if there's anything that I explain in a little bit more depth that needs to a little more focus time on that particular section, then I'll edit it after I've done the voiceover and kind of match it up. So I've half edited it. I'm now making a to-do list because there's a lot of things going on in my mind that I can't stop thinking about, so I need to get them down on paper. So there's a few things that I need to do. So I'm just making a little to-do list so that I can tick things off, so I can get that little like, oh, I've done it. So I'm making a list of the videos that I need to edit today. This is mainly a today list, but I might add a few things that I know that I need to do throughout the week so that I can just get them out of my head. So I've got to finish editing the Fuji tutorial. I then have to edit the pumpkin video for YouTube. I've also drawn that little mushroom as well. I'm not sure whether or not to edit a small YouTube video for that. I think I might. I also do need to scan in all of my drawings so that they are scanned, and then I can file them away in my little folder where I keep everything. I also need to create a sale for Etsy of all of the stock that I kind of want to get rid of in the run up to Christmas, and I need to also create a pet portrait banner for Facebook to advertise a couple of pet portrait slots for 2024. I also need to post some photos to Patreon as a little reward thing, and then I will also need to edit this vlog. I'm not aiming to get it all done. Sorry, I'm going to show you this way because it's easier. I'm not aiming to get it all done today. If I can tick off 3 things, then that's fine, but as long as I get the Fuji tutorial edited today, because that needs to go up for Friday, and then if I can get ahead on other videos, so these other 2 videos, if I can do those, that's also good. If I can also get the banner done so that I can schedule it for posting to Facebook, I kind of would like it to go up today because it's a Monday and it's a nice day for things to go up. So let's see what we can get done. I have edited the Fuji video. It's uploaded, I've done the thumbnail, I've done all of the tags. On my YouTube Studio app on my phone, it's got like this little research thing now, so you can see what people have searched for. So I'm kind of utilising some things that I should have been utilising in order to help the tags and everything to perform better. So I've done all of that. I've also done my little banner for my Facebook pet portraits thing. I've got the picture here. I'm just going to show you like this. So I've just got pet portrait bookings, what I need for a deposit, and I'm also offering 20% off for bookings at the moment as well, which I'm hoping, fingers crossed, will help entice some people. And with the bookings, any inquiries that I do get, I'm kind of going to be a little bit selective about, because the last a few that I've worked on previously, I've had quite not bad photos, but they haven't been fantastic to work from, and I'd rather have a good quality photo to work from that's nice and easy, rather than having to really struggle with photos that have filters on them and that kind of thing. So I've done that, and I've also scheduled a 25% off discount on my Etsy store. So I'm running it for the whole of November. So from today until the end of November, there's 25% off cards, bookmarks, prints, stationery. I think that's it. I've not taken the 25% off my sale items because I've also created like a little separate section for sale items. I haven't included those Maybe I should have just to try and shift them, but I'd rather try and shift the ones that I want to keep in stock so that I can see kind of where I'm at with what I need to order and what ones I then need to continue discontinuing. I've still got, that's 3 things that I've ticked off of my to-do list. I've still got 5 others. I'm not sure what to do because 2 of them are editing and 1 is scanning my drawings and posting photos to Patreon, and the other one, sorry, there's 3 that are editing. So I'm not quite sure what else to do. I kind of get into this situation where I'm like, okay, I've done some things, but then what do I need to do? What needs to be done first? I really struggle with trying to decipher that. But I think what I'm going to do is end this vlog so that I can edit this vlog and maybe my pumpkin video ready for next week, try and get ahead. I still haven't decided what exactly I'm going to be drawing this week and need to get some drawing done. I've got a couple of things that I have in my drawer. I've got that robin on the post box, and I've got a couple of drawings as well that I have started but haven't finished. So I could, you know, I've got this one, these mice and these blackberries. That one I've got to finish. But it's on the Fabriano paper, and I'm used to working on the Derwent Lightfast now. As I say, I also have the Jaguar to do, but that's going to be a tutorial. I kind of want to work on something that is just for me this week and then get back into doing tutorials next week maybe. I'm not sure. I'm undecided. I need to make a list of things that I would like to draw and then plan it out. But I do need to post the reference photos that I've got to Patreon. So I'm going to make a couple of scheduled posts for November of some photo dumps, I think that's what I'll do next. Then I can tick something else off of my list. And it's more of like one of those admin-y tasks. And then I can continue editing a little bit more for about half an hour maybe, because Simon's coming home for lunch today, and then that's pretty much my work day done, and then we'll resume tomorrow. But I'm gonna stop the vlog here because I don't really have anything else to show that is going to be of worth, and then I'll probably start a new studio vlog tomorrow when I do the scanning. Hopefully I'll get around to doing the scanning. But thank you so much for watching, guys. This one's been a bit of a, haven't really known what I have recorded or what I have to record, but we'll see when I'm editing what exactly we have. So I hope that you have enjoyed this vlog, and I will catch you guys in the next video.